What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Island Hopper TV, and today we're going to talk about things to know when traveling based on some of the things that came up for me that I want to share with you. So, things that can go wrong. In case you're wondering where I'm at, this is my backyard. I moved in here and been developing this yard. You can see it's still under construction. We just got a heavy rain here in Arizona, but you guys asked me to make a video from my yard, some of you, so I'm doing that. And in this video I'm going to talk about some of the things that happened, tell a little bit of stories, just so you guys know what to expect when traveling. One thing that I would say before I even get started is don't be scared to travel, because if I was to really think about all the stuff that I'm about to tell you and just go through it again, I'd be like, man, if I knew that, I don't know if I would have done it again. Just like some hairy situations, circumstances, for everything from scams to, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, scary situations. I travel solo, so when things happen, it's just me, right? But sometimes I encounter people. But let's just talk about the scam first. So scams do happen, and if I was to really be honest with you, where I seem to have a lot of these hairy situations pop up was in Asia. Like, the more I started to recount, like, how many times I had sticky situations or hairy situations arise, they were in Asia, Asian countries, Thailand in particular. So I would say Thailand is a safe place, but if I was to look back on some of the crazier things that happened, Thailand's definitely everything from sickness to getting too drunk, partying too much, and waking up being like, where's my stuff, where's my wallet, where am I, like, did I get drugged or something like that, did I get roofied, just having way too much fun, getting carried away. And when you travel by yourself, getting drunk and doing that, not such a smart idea. So I lost my phone that night, an iPhone. And when you lose your phone traveling, that's basically you're coming home. Like, the second you lose your phone, because I have all my stuff on my phone. Two-factor authentication, which means that you can't access certain accounts unless you have the two-factor authenticator, which protects you from, something bad happening to, someone being able to access your accounts. But at the same time, if you lose that, you're basically having to go home and go back to America, call your cell phone company, get a brand new cell phone, and then either go back out to where you were just at to pick back up or whatnot. But I would say lessons learned there would be, number one, don't get too drunk. You can, but it doesn't stop me from drinking, but it definitely stops me from just slamming down tequila and getting free drinks and having all this party fun. Because when that happens, you can get too drunk, black out. Also, if you're going to go out drinking anyways, whether you're with friends or by yourself, try not to bring all your stuff. Only take like a certain amount of money so you don't spend all your money. So leave your wallet in your hotel and your bank in the safe, or your phone in the safe. That's why it's good to have like your primary phone and then a travel phone. So when you go to these other places, you can change out your SIM card. But if you just get like two phones, one for changing out the SIM card, and then one's your American phone where all your information is at, and leave that American phone at home or at the hotel, and then go out with the other one. Other scams that come up, like imitation stuff, in particular in China. They have very clever scams in China. They appear as though they're your friends. They have no problem in China just telling you straight to your face that, make it seem like they're on your side, and the next thing you know, they're scamming you, whether it be an imitation product. I thought I was buying after being talked into it, by the way. I was being talked into buying an iPhone 10. This was back in 2017. I thought it was a real phone. He showed me the real phone and then put it in his pocket, pulled it back out, but this time it was just a weighted phone, hollow, with nothing inside it, and I thought I was getting it for $200. So, I got scammed. I shouldn't have bought it to begin with, but he was really good at selling me on it. Shanghai got scammed there. Hang on one second. Excuse me. Wow, something came over me over here. Maybe it's some allergen in the air. But anyway, so yeah, I got scammed in Shanghai also on one of those like, hey, do you want to be friends kind of thing. They just come up to you. They're like, do you want to be friends? Let's go out and drink. And then you go to these bars, and the next thing you know, you're paying $45 a shot, and you're buying 5 shots at a time, and you're there for an hour, and you get an $800 bill, and you're like, well, I didn't. They're like, well, you drank all of this. You didn't know the price. I was like, no, I didn't know the price. So I mean, like they come up to you asking you to be your friend to go out and drink, and you'll be like, sure, why not? Actually, I didn't even want to do that, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so just look out for scams. Also, like airport scams, they always try to get you at the airport pay a lot more because you don't know the currency rate. So try to follow up on the currency conversion to know, like $7 US equals 1 Hong Kong dollar, or 32 Thai baht equals 1 US dollar. You want to know the currency exchange before you go to these countries, and you can get like an app called Forex, which is foreign exchange. But yeah, I would say that will help you with that. And also, if you're trying to get knockoff products, pretty much any product is not real unless it's coming from an actual licensed retailer. Like if it's not an Armani retailer and you know it's not, then it's imitation. So don't be paying that. Just realize that you're getting an imitation grade A, grade B copy. Okay, so another thing that comes up is getting sick. Pretty much every one of my trips I go on, I get sick, whether it be a head cold or something in my stomach. Thailand's notorious for this. They call it the Bali belly. That happens in Thailand and Bali belly, obviously. And then you got Philippines, you can also get it. It's just where you eat like food, you get basically food poisoning and you'll be hurting. And the only way to really get rid of it is write this down. Ciprofloxacin is one of the main ones. You go to the pharmaceutical, because if they don't speak English and you're like over there telling them what's going on, they might not give you the right thing. So typically you want to take ciprofloxacin. That's an antibiotic. You'll be bedridden for about 2 or 3 days, but the the blast booty will go away. I mean, we're talking like where you're like riding the toilet maybe 30 times a day, because it's like whatever you got is gotcha. And that's the only way to really get rid of it is antibiotics. But head colds from just being exposed to a whole bunch of different bacteria that your body's not used to, whether it's China or Bali or just different germs. I mean, you can take as much multivitamins. You want to be taking multivitamins before you leave, so you want to build up your immunity as strong as you can so that if you do come encounter with this stuff, it's not going to like get you. But I've been pretty sick in China. I got really sick with a head cold, just a wicked head cold. Wicked. I mean, that was a bad one. I don't know what that was. And then I got the stomach thing in Thailand. Didn't get it in Bali, but I know people who do. Also got head colds in, yes. I mean, just head colds. It happens, right? And so sickness, just being prepared, building up your immunity can really help with these different things, and knowing the types of stuff you can take when and if you do get something like that happens. Other things that you got to be aware of: showing up, giving yourself a buffer time to get to the airport, because missing flights can be a pain in the butt. I've definitely missed a couple flights. I missed a flight in Kuala Lumpur. I missed a flight in Ibiza. Just showing up too close to the fringe, and because things can go wrong, whether it be getting through the baggage line or just traffic. You never know. So give yourself a buffer period for catching flights. It's better to show up a little early. So I always like to get flights either really late at night, because this is a travel hack, because it's not going to be as full, so you can literally get like three seats all to yourself, a full row, which I think is pretty good, especially for a long flight. Like one time I had a flight from Tokyo to Honolulu, and it was a Delta flight, so a beautiful airliner, and maybe 30% full capacity. So that was the thing. If you're flying from Asia to America, try to get an American airliner, because most Asians book on Asian airliners to fly into America. They don't fly on American airliners. Now, I don't know. I also had the same kind of thing happen going from Canada to London, which was good, where I had my own row, which means that, you lift up the thing and you could sleep on that row. But be careful doing that, because that's how you're going to expose yourself to those germs on the seat. So you can get sick that way. Another thing that I would say also comes up that you should be aware of is this happened a couple times, just basically going to a place. It seemed like the two times that this really happened to me was once in Indonesia and once in Malaysia, where basically I took a train in Malaysia from Kuala Lumpur north, and I ended up getting off in this community where I was literally like a fish out of water. It was just me and the locals, and I'm glad it was in the daytime, but it was a place, where you just like, oh man, how do I get out of here? It was one of those kind of places. So in the event that stuff like that happens, it's a good thing to be doing a lot of your off the beaten path travel in the daytime. Another place where I did that was, again, in Indonesia. I went to an island where I was recommended to go there. It's not that, it's just in these Islamic nations like Malaysia and Indonesia where things are a little bit different than what you're accustomed to if you're from a Christian country or an American country, because they do have different ideals and stuff. It's not that it's dangerous, it's just they don't see things the same way ideologically as you would, coming from where you come from. So it can get a little bit hairy, I would say. Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm saying it's dangerous, because I didn't have any issues. It was just I was kind of like, ooh boy, I got to get out of here. It was one of those kind of things. I also had a situation happen like that in Mexico. When I was in Puerto Vallarta, I was staying at a resort, so I felt pretty confident. And then I just took a couple shots of tequila, and I started walking around. Next thing I know, I'm in this place called Nuevo Vallarta, and I realized, I'm like, this is not a place I should be. Go into a couple establishments, catch a couple fuzzy eyeballs, and realize, ooh, maybe I shouldn't be here. So same thing has happened in Los Angeles, though. I've been in places at night in Los Angeles where I shouldn't have been. So it's not just Indonesia or Malaysia or Mexico. Los Angeles has some hairy places, in particular around, I would say, South LA, Compton, Long Beach, that area right there. Not a place you want to be at night. Maybe not even during the daytime, but definitely at night. So, just stuff like that. Try to make your travel during the daytime. Don't do too much at night. At night is kind of when a different crowd comes out. But overall, I would say, yeah, most of my occurrences either happen in Latin America. Costa Rica is another one of those places I was at after hours where I felt like maybe I shouldn't be here. When something just doesn't feel right about where you're at, where you're like, ooh, maybe it just takes a couple looks from the locals, a couple experiences from the locals where you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be here. Like Costa Rica, I had that happen in Jaco Beach. I was out partying with some friends and started to realize, well, maybe people aren't as friendly at night as they are in the daytime, because a different crowd comes out, like whatever it is. Probably the last thing is make sure your documents are in order. Especially when you go to Europe, they're a lot more strict, and same with China. Yeah. Europe, in particular the UK. The UK and Ireland are probably, if there was ever immigration officers that I had the most conflict with globally, it was in the UK and Ireland. Which is weird because, I look like I am part British and I am part Irish. So you would think, but it has nothing to do with how you look. It has everything to do with all your documents and the reason you're there, your story, alibi, what you're doing, all line up. Even if you what I'm saying is I just went there as a tourist, and I felt like they were grilling me like I was in an interrogation. What's your reason for coming to this country? To do some sightseeing. Why do you want to sightsee? Well, because I wanted to come to Ireland to sightsee. Yeah, but that doesn't tell me why you want to come here. What do you mean why I don't? It's like, and I was like, well, I've always wanted to come to Ireland. Okay, why did you always want to come to Ireland? Well, because I'm part Irish. Okay, where's your family from in Ireland? I don't know. I have no idea. Why don't you know that? Because I don't know. I don't know. There's my dog right there. But anyway, so, it's just having the story of where I'm staying and all that, it seems like is a good thing. Even in Asia, like sometimes when I went from Tokyo to Taiwan wanted to know where I'm staying, making sure my hotel was booked before I got there, because I have a tendency to just fly somewhere and get the hotel when I arrive and play it by ear, but in some of these countries you can't really do that. So I would say Ireland and the UK, maybe Taiwan are some places you can't necessarily do that. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to make this video. My dog's out here barking. I don't know what his deal is. If you guys enjoy these videos, thanks to everyone who's been asking comments and liking the video, and we'll see you guys next time.